This savanna-like landscape is an open heathland. You may be surprised to know that it's right behind Ketton cement works. Many hundreds of years ago, this whole area was known as Ketton Heath, as we can see on this old map from the late 1700s. It would have been an open scrubland sparsely grazed by deer and wild boar, probably with some low levels of sheep or cattle grazing by local farmers. It would have been a mixture of scrubby plants like hawthorn, birch, gorse and bramble, interspersed with native woodland. Over the lifetime of the quarry, this area has been restored back from quarry floor to something resembling that lost landscape. One of the wildest places around Ketton, and it contains huge biodiversity. It supports a large herd of fallow deer, numerous birds of prey including ospreys, which have previously nested at the site. There is an osprey nest on the site specifically for that purpose. Small rodents and billions of insects. Often foxes are seen moving across the plains. The limestone grassland supports bee and pyramidal orchids, and the wetland brings in herons, ducks, sand martins, egrets, and also supports aquatic species like newts and toads. The nearby unrestored limestone cliffs provide a valuable habitat for birds like sand martins, as well as insects and lizards. I want to highlight the great value of this area, as in the recent plans to expand Ketton Quarry, this whole open plain was on the master restoration plan as to be for agriculture. This may stem from a previous commitment in an earlier application, but over the intervening time this valuable habitat has formed here. I feel it would be wrong to utilise this site for intensive agriculture. It is heavily grazed already by the existing deer population, and an increase in human activity would be likely to reduce the volume of wildlife seen here. If there are plans for arable agriculture, the effects would be frankly devastating on the wildlife that lives here. If you can imagine the site being ploughed up and deforested, it would resemble something like the scenes of Isengard from Lord of the Rings when the forest is completely destroyed.
Trees are strong, my lord. Their roots go deep.
Rip them all down.
Some of the area has already been restored to farmland to the south. This would surely be adequate to satisfy any previous commitments from a planning perspective, and the large heath to the north could be retained intact. I hope that this is just an oversight on the part of the planning application, and that this map is indicative rather than definitive. Nonetheless, I would urge you to reach out to Heidelberg to voice your concerns if you want to see this area protected. One other thing I'd like to highlight is that there's a lot of work that still needs to be done in this area to clean up from the tree planting effort. Heidelberg really do have a duty to clean up all of these thousands of tree cowls which litter this otherwise beautiful and pristine landscape. Personally, I feel this site could be managed for the benefit of wildlife by somebody such as the Leicestershire and Rutland Wildlife Trust, and the construction of a few footpaths and hides around the extremities of the site could provide local people with a much needed insight into this relatively unknown and very beautiful area of Ketton. As with the rest of the quarry, I think that there is potential within the restoration for a national nature reserve. Given its size, diversity of habitats, location and proximity to Rutland water, it has huge potential. Let me know what you think down below.